buckle up because this story doesn't walk, it struts. Word from the Hollywood streets says Meghan Markle has been turning her sparkliest smile toward none other than Jeff Bezos himself. Yes, the billionaire boss of Amazon, the man who could fund a small country if he felt like it. And Meghan, well, she's been sliding into his professional orbit like a woman who just remembered she used to be an actress and suddenly wants back on camera. But here's the twist. Standing right between Meghan and Jeff like a velvet rope at the Oscars is Lauren Sanchez. Lauren isn't just Jeff's partner. She's confident, glamorous, wildly connected, and absolutely not the type to let anyone, especially Meghan, sashay her way into her territory. Sources say Lauren clocked Meghan's little sparkle show from a mile away and shut that door with a smile so sweet it probably stung. So now the question is, was Meghan chasing an acting opportunity, a business connection, a ladder back to A-list attention, or maybe all three? Either way, this is where our story begins, with Meghan aiming high, Bezos being the biggest prize in town, and Lauren making sure the Duchess stays exactly where she belongs, outside the inner circle. And now, let's break this saga down chapter by chapter.
What is up, guys? Excuse me. What is up, guys? Private Eye Rush here. Welcome to another episode of the Private Eye Rush Show. I'm your host, owner, operator, full-service private investigation and consulting firm. Company website will be in the description below. Join the Discord server. Putting another post up probably tonight or tomorrow. And as well as if you need to get in touch with me, use the contact page on the website or send me a direct message on X at Private Eye Rush. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. So Meghan Markle trying to slide up and sashay up to Jeff Bezos because the Netflix thing, the special they didn't do so well. And, you know, there's a lot of reasons for that, I think, but we'll talk about it. We'll discuss it. So let's go ahead and keep playing this. Fair use.
So here's where people started whispering. Meghan didn't just take any acting offer. She took a cameo role in an Amazon-backed MGM film and played herself. Sources say this wasn't random. Hollywood executives noticed she chose Amazon, not Netflix, even though Netflix was the platform that gave her and Harry their first big documentary deal. Insiders at the studios began murmuring that Meghan was professionally wooing Jeff Bezos. Of course, everyone added the word professionally, but they said it with the same tone someone uses when they say, it's just a coincidence, while raising an eyebrow so high it touches the ceiling. And suddenly Meghan was showing up in conversations, not about royals, not about charity speeches, but about why she was getting closer to Bezos, the man who owns the studio she now wanted to shine in. Hollywood noticed, Netflix noticed, Lauren definitely noticed, and Meghan, she pretended everything was totally normal. Now here's where the stakes get juicy. A rival studio insider revealed that Bezos is one of the very few people who could bankroll anything Meghan and Harry might dream up: movies, documentaries, lifestyle brands, world domination, brunch parties, you name it. With Bezos, Meghan wouldn't.
The problem with that is this: the Netflix special did not do very well, and she was not very well received. He was not very well received. They come across as very insincere and wooden. They don't have much charisma, which, you know, she's technically pretty. The camera loves her, but she doesn't come across as being a very attractive or warm individual. Now, I have spoken to some people who, some guys in my industry who have dealt with her or seen her dealings up close and personal with others, and they say she is just not a very warm lady. She's they compare her to the Ice Queen. Just everything is very calculated, and so if you're at Amazon, you look at the success or lack of success of the Netflix series, and you say, "Oh man, do we really want to do that?" Amazon has had some absolute blunders with the way they've handled things. I won't go into details, but you know, Lord of the Rings. Anyway, and some really bad miscalculations, and you know, there's only so much money you want to throw away. And apparently they spent like $20 million an episode for that Lord of the Rings abomination, and there's another season coming out, which I find unconscionable. I won't get into that. You guys don't want to see the geeky, nerdy part of me. I read every Tolkien book from, you know, way back in the day before I even got to high school. Anyway, so let's keep going. Fair use.
Just get a platform, she'd get power, funding, prestige, and a second chance in Hollywood. Another source described her choice like this: Why go back to Netflix when you can aim for the man who owns the future? And honestly, that's exactly how Meghan thinks, because Bezos isn't just a producer, he's not just a billionaire, he's a kingmaker. But in every kingdom, there is always a queen already seated.
Yep.
And her name is Lauren Sanchez. Now, before Meghan could even flutter her eyelashes toward Jeff Bezos' universe, there was one tiny, sparkly, diamond-studded detail she seemed to forget. Jeff is already taken, and not by just anyone. Lauren Sanchez is the woman standing at his side, and she is not some shy, invisible shadow.
No, she is not. She was once the side chick, if everybody remembers. So here's the thing about side chicks that get elevated to main chick. Does that happen? Yes, it does. Does it happen very frequently? No, not really. But it did happen in this case. And she married probably one of the biggest fish in the sea, if not the biggest fish in the sea, Jeff Bezos. He got, divorced famously, broke the bank with the amount, like 30-something billion dollars. And so she winds up being elevated. Now, here's the thing about the women that were elevated from side chick to main chick. They know the game. Lauren Sanchez, you look at her face, she is an intelligent woman. She's like, okay, sweetie, I see. And that's how they talk to you. They call each other sweetie. That's when chicks don't like each other, when they call each other sweetie. when women say, okay, sweetie, that's when it's about to be on, and the claws and fangs about to come out. And I, being an executive protection guy, and doing some bodyguard work out in Hollywood and a bunch of other places, boy, oh boy, I have gotten a front seat to some knockdown, drag out cat fights that you guys would not believe. And you got to maintain your poker face. Now they're not physically coming to blows. A couple of times looked like it might have been, but you got to maintain your poker face and act like you don't see anything. You don't see anything. But later on, security dudes would be like, "Oh, did you see that? Yeah, man. Oof. That was rough." And so Miss Sanchez is no fool. And so she probably spotted her from a mile away, because Miss Sanchez made her slide up on Jeff Bezos, like slid into the DMs or whatever. However she contacted him, she slid in. And the wife was none the wiser until she was. There's a whole bunch of rumors about that, but whatever. Let's keep going.
Oh no, Lauren is bold. She is glamorous. She is connected.
And she's going to protect her spot. She's going to protect, and I don't blame her. Fair use. I mean, she had to put in a lot of work. So let's keep going.
She has friendships that stretch across Hollywood like a glittering spider web, including Bethany Frankel, who already had Meghan figured out long before the rest of the world caught on. Sources say Lauren saw Meghan's move before Meghan even made it. That's how sharp she is. And here's the real kicker. People in the industry say Meghan and Lauren have a tiny bit of similarity. They both know how to find powerful men. They both know how to dress for attention. They both know how to walk into a room like it's a runway. But here's the difference. Lauren owns it. Meghan performs it. Lauren doesn't pretend to be humble or wholesome. She sparkles openly. She embraces the spotlight. She is exactly who she is, and that confidence makes her impossible to replace. Which is why insiders whispered that Meghan will never get past Lauren.
There's also a marked difference as well, too. Maybe some similarities, but I see a big difference. I don't know if you guys have spotted the difference between Lauren Sanchez and Meghan Markle. Lauren Sanchez understands she's there to accentuate this guy. She's there to elevate his status, and in doing so, she elevates her own status. All right, so too many times I see, and you guys have seen the same thing, I see women trying to elevate themselves above their husbands or their partner at his expense by putting him down, belittling him to elevate their own status. Here's what you wind up doing instead. You wind up reducing both of your status. You make him look weak, and you make yourself look like a horrible, evil harpy. Instead of doing that, elevate your guy, support him, back him up, have his back, and guard his gates like a pack of Dobermans. You will both prosper because of it. He'll be able to rest easy and focus on creating more wealth and more power and growing his base if he knows that someone actually has his back. What happens is women will do this undermining thing in public and putting their guys down. And what happens, what that triggers in the guy's head is, oh man, I can't trust her. Now, they may not say anything, but they lose trust in you. And as soon as they do that, now they've got to watch out for everybody else and the person who's sharing a home with them or a life with them or whatever it might be. Don't do that. Do the opposite. Like this woman could put on a master class. And she is, if people watched and saw what she did. Now, she's got her own power in her own right, but she knows that she's there to be, and okay, being number 2 to the wealthiest man on earth, that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, keep going.
Because Lauren isn't just Jeff's partner. She's his gatekeeper, his filter, his guardrail. And Meghan trying to get close to Bezos without going through Lauren, that's like trying to sneak into a castle while the queen is standing at the drawbridge holding the keys and smiling sweetly as she says, "Not today, darling." If Meghan thought she was going to glide into the Bezos circle, the Kardashian birthday party proved otherwise. And oh, it was a night to remember, but not for the right reasons. Harry and Meghan attended Kris Jenner's birthday celebration, and instead of floating through the evening like polished Hollywood royalty, they stuck out like a squeaky shopping cart in a luxury boutique. The photos that leaked told the story better than words ever could. There was Meghan caught clicking her fingers for service like she was summoning a butler in a palace she no longer lives in. There was Harry looking lost like someone forgot to give him the script. And there were the other women, glowing, confident, relaxed, effortlessly glamorous, while Meghan's expression screamed.
Okay, a lot of miscalculations. Meghan Markle, and make no mistake, she's the leader of that relationship. She led this dude away from his family. She married a dude that was theoretically the most eligible bachelor on the planet, member of the royal family. I don't think there's a more exclusive family club to be a member of than the British royal family. Excuse me, than that monarchy. Maybe there are, although personally, if I had to choose between there and Monaco, I'd want to live in Monaco. If you guys have never been, you should go. I've been a couple of times. Oh boy, it's an experience. So she keeps miscalculating. So she joins this family. Instead of being appreciative that she joined this family, she started making demands and getting upset and throwing a tantrum because she wasn't being treated like an insider right away. They've known each other for years, in many cases since childhood. Some of these royal family members marry distant relatives, like third or fourth cousins and things of that nature. So they know each other very well. You're brand new, and obviously you're different from the rest of them. I'm not saying there was any sort of racial component, but you're brand new. They don't know you, right? I don't know if there's a racial component or not. Maybe there was. Who knows? But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're in the family. And so instead of appreciating that, she maneuvered herself and her husband to where they've pretty much been excommunicated. They did a lot of things that were at the expense of the royal family, and now the royal family is like, yeah, screw you. The king has pretty much turned his back on them and her. And she had the blessing of the queen. God rest her soul. God save the queen. And God save the king, excuse me. And so it's a shout out to my British friends. I got a lot of British homies. I got some cousins, a whole branch of the family lives in England, musicians and whatnot. So shout out to them. And so, there's a way you have to behave, and there's certain decorum. And so she's miscalculating. She seems to think she's really slick because she got her claws into this weak dude. And, she had a lot of coaching about how to do that in Soho House. Maybe I'll do a thing about the Soho House one day. But she's miscalculating. And I think she overestimated her abilities to influence and infiltrate, which is what she's been trying to do. Anyways, keep going. Fair use.
Why is the camera catching my bad angle? Sources say the party guests didn't warm to them. They weren't charming. They weren't magnetic. They weren't invited into the inner laughter and private toasts. They were background noise. And Meghan does not do background. Hollywood noticed, because Hollywood always notices. And suddenly the whispers became stronger. If Meghan couldn't win over the Kardashians, the queens of image, influence, and reinvention, how did she expect to conquer Bezos' realm? That night didn't lift her status, it lowered it. And Meghan could feel it. Now here's where things went from awkward to explosive. A Montecito source revealed that when Meghan saw the photos from the Kris Jenner party, she absolutely lost it. Not a tiny sigh, not a delicate tear,
those are pretty bad.
Full-on fit. Because Meghan likes to approve every image of herself that ever sees daylight. And this time...
That is not uncommon. They all are so incredibly vain, especially the women when it comes to Hollywood and this jet set type group. They like literally they'll have relationships with the paparazzi to where they'll actually send them proofs and say, okay, and they're publicist, and they'll approve or disapprove the photos. And so you will never see unless something's taken with a telephoto lens from far off, you will never see a very candid photo of some of them. If you did, you would be horrified with the way some of them actually look. But this is not uncommon. So I don't think this is not a detriment to her. This is not an uncommon thing to do.
She had no control. The angles were unflattering. The dress didn't do what she thought it would. The comparisons to other women, brutal. And the Kardashians, they were not amused. Word is they were furious that Meghan and Harry's drama overshadowed Kris Jenner's celebration. This was supposed to be a night honoring the woman who practically invented modern fame, not a night centered around Meghan's camera anxiety. And here's the deeper sting. This wasn't about vanity. It was about power. Meghan built her post-royal identity on image control, the perfect lighting, the perfect pose, the perfect message, but those photos reminded her of something she cannot bear. When Meghan doesn't control the room does not choose her. And that's when the strategy shifted. That is the only place left to climb was Bezos. But Lauren was already watching. Now, at this level of society, the top shelf, the diamond tier, the private jet crowd, nothing is said loudly. Power moves travel through whispers, raised eyebrows, long glances across a gala table, and quiet conversations shared over champagne poured from bottles that cost more than a car. And in that whisper network, people reportedly began noticing Meghan positioning herself, attending the right rooms, approaching the right circles, smiling at the right moments, and angling herself where Bezos' presence or influence lingered. But here's the delicious twist. Everyone knew Lauren was watching. Not angrily, not insecurely, not panicked, just aware. Because women like Lauren don't fight loudly, they block silently. And according to sources, that's exactly what she did by making sure Meghan never got close enough to appear as more than a distant satellite floating outside their orbit.
Okay, when it comes to very wealthy individuals, here's what they have. They have a series of gates and gatekeepers. And you don't just walk up to, you may be able to at some point, but you don't just, in most cases, you can't just walk up and have any sort of meaningful conversation with a guy like this. The reason for it is not because they think they're better than everybody else, or maybe sometimes they do, but I'm not saying that about him necessarily. But part of that is that their time is so valuable. Their focus is so valuable. So there are people that are assigned to literally guard their gates like a pack of Dobermans. And I've seen it with some of the wealthy individuals I've worked for. One in particular, the people closest to him, man, they ruthlessly guard this guy, and he rewards that loyalty. Incredibly loyal guy. Won't go into names, obviously, but this is a common trait amongst the top tier CEO crowd. The creators, the billionaires, you don't just walk up to them and say, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? I got a business proposal." Or, "Hey, can you hook me up with a movie deal or a production deal or whatever?" It doesn't work that way. You've got to woo the right people. So clearly, she doesn't understand. She learned how to get her husband, who is, by all appearances, kind of a weak guy. He's not the number one in that. She's the number one. He's the number two, and everybody kind of understands that. And so he's allowed his wife to lead him literally right off a cliff. And he's struggling right now to get back in the good graces of the king, his father. Whether that happens or not, King Charles does not look like the type of guy who takes betrayal very lightly, excuse me. And so who knows? They're gonna have to do a lot of tap dancing and bootlicking, but all because he couldn't say no to his wife. And so Lauren Sanchez, she's a very, very smart and calculating woman. Do not underestimate her by any means.
Hollywood felt it, billionaires felt it, and Meghan felt it most of all. In the world Meghan is trying to re-enter, power doesn't look like a crown anymore. It looks like a rocket launch, a media empire, a phone call that changes someone's future. Jeff Bezos is a kingmaker, a man who can create careers with a signature. Lauren Sanchez is the queen beside him, confident, established, socially untouchable. And Meghan, she is standing at the edge of a glittering world she can see but cannot touch.
No, and she probably will not be able to get a chance to elevate herself into something like that. And there's a very good reason why. All right, so looking from the outside looking in, if I was Jeff Bezos or Lauren Sanchez, although Jeff Bezos probably doesn't pay attention to her or what goes on with her and her family, he doesn't care. He's got other things to do. But the people around him that are assessing talent, assessing people's viability or suitability, they're going to look at her and say, okay, she threw the royal family under the bus. Why would we bring her here? If she's dissatisfied, would she do the same thing to us? Yes, she doesn't really seem to have any respect for different positions, which is unfortunate. And the higher you go up, the more you're going to be scrutinized. So, excuse me, I've been able to get work for some of the top CEOs in the country, some of the most famous people that I can't name, for one reason only. When I've been scrutinized, people are like, okay, he's not perfect. Obviously, I'm very good at what I do. Obviously, if you're up against it and you have a threat, I'm the guy you want on your side. Or I'm one of the guys you want on your side. But also, too, because I understand how to deal with people. You will never hear me talk about, mention a client's name. I don't do that. Now, have I been photographed with some clients, some prospective clients? Yes, I have on multiple occasions. That was unavoidable. But you're not going to find pictures of me with a client on social media. I've been photographed with some politicians, but those guys I was photographed with that you see on film, they were not my clients, and so that's a whole different thing. But they'll look at your past and say, okay, how did she behave towards these other guys? And so, like, I've had people wonder or ask me, hey, why is it that these famous guys, rappers, ball players, actors, whatever it might be, seem to date the same women over and over again? Like, she'll break up with this guy, then she'll wind up with this guy. Well, here's why. Famous people want people they can trust after the fact. Okay, so if you're around somebody all the time, you're going to see a bunch of what they go through, a bunch of their life. Okay, and the way one of my mentors in executive protection explained it is this: we are the keepers of secrets. All right, they have to trust us. You know, they have to be sitting in the limo with us, and they could make a fart, and we're not going to say anything to anybody. And I'll give you guys a good one of the best compliments I got from a client. Okay, so we picked the client up, and this is how it is in a lot of instances. They'll fly into town. These guys are super busy. Their schedule is what it is, and you facilitate that travel, right? Bang, 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 bang. All right, meeting. As soon as he got into town like 0700, and literally straight to the first meeting. Like, this guy didn't even stop to eat until dinner time. And so we're making sure he gets there. We're making sure everything is secure, and a bunch of stuff goes on in the background I won't go into, obviously. But we're doing our job. We're hustling. And this guy in particular, I've worked for him on multiple occasions since this time. And here's one of the reasons why. Number one, I'm very good at what I do. Number two, I make sure I only use really, really trusted people that I've worked with before and that I've trained myself. I do train executive protection specialists. All right, so at the end of the last meeting, and again, the meetings don't start until he gets there, but we made sure he was there on time, obviously. But you know, he's the guy. He's the guy. So the meeting's not like the meeting got scheduled, and if he's not there, all right, let's go ahead and start without him. That's not going to happen. And so at the end of it, we stop. We pick up a young lady, takes her to dinner. We go back to her hotel. He spends some time there. I'm in the hallway, standing there dutifully. And at the end of the evening, he says goodbye. He gets back in the limo. We're going back to the jet, like right away, like hauling butt. And I'm in the front right seat, and I'm just doing my thing. And so I'm communicating a little bit with the driver and with the pilot to make sure everything is good to go and smooth, and facilitate everything going nice and smoothly. That's your job. That's one of your jobs. And so as we're traveling at Warp Factor 9, the protectee says, hey, Chuck. That's my nickname, Chuck. Even though my name is Russ. My name actually is Russ, but my nickname is Chuck because of my middle name. All right, so he goes, hey, Chuck. And I just, yes, sir. And he goes, that young lady I picked up, that was my niece. And I just glanced back, and I said, what young lady, sir? And he just got this giant grin. He goes, my man, good answer. And that was it. And I've done a lot of work for the guys since then. They have to be able to trust you. And if they can't trust you, why would they keep you around? Like me, my home, as humble as it is, I don't have a huge place, but this is my fortress of solitude. I don't just bring anybody here. You talk to some of my best friends, they've never been to my house. I've got a couple of people that I consider my brothers, guys that I've served in the military with and shed blood with. A couple of them have been here, but most people I know have never been to my home. They know where I live, but they've never been to my home. Why? Because this is my fortress. And only everybody, not just people that I trust, but people that are going to bring a cool, relaxing vibe. And so Meghan Markle, people probably are keeping her at arm's length because they saw how she treated the royal family. You had access to one of the most exclusive, if not the most exclusive family on the planet, and you screwed it. You just screwed it for yourself. You screwed it for your husband as well, too. And if I didn't know any better, at some point, she's going to look for an exit point. I think at some point she's going to look for an exit point. A lot of rumors have come out about her, not just her demeanor, but some of the behavior or things that she got up to before she met the prince. And so, man, oh man, I can see at some point her walking away from him and looking for some other place to go. Anyway, it's your boy Private Eye Russ. Before you go, please, if you've gotten any value from this analysis and this reaction video, hit like, subscribe, share the video, help grow the community. Help us get to 2,000. Let's get to 2,000 subscribers. We're over 2,000, getting closer and closer to 1,500. Let's get to 2,000 subscribers and get in the comment section. Leave a comment. And again, this is Private Eye Russ, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. I'm out.